Hi Pisces, welcome to your March reading. I hope you enjoyed your Year of the Tiger. From what I can tell, it was enjoyable for most. These are aesthetically Euphoria themed videos, and I will be putting up more content about your season and just about March in general. But you and Aries, I feel like you need your videos right away. All right, let's grab some more cards and then we'll talk. So in the meantime, let's talk about your astrology. There's a certain level of commitment that you are no longer willing to compromise on. It's either I'm going to hold on to you or I'm going to cut you out. There is this expansive energy that Jupiter has brought that has made you, let's say, a bit ruthless when it comes to your well-being and your standards. Now, we know this has been brewing for quite some time. We're not all that surprised, and I would even say that most people in your life are probably not surprised. What they probably are surprised by are the ultimatums that you are very comfortable giving. It's this or it's nothing, says Pisces. And you're like that, not just with others. You're holding yourself to that as well. You have decided that you know how to win. Do you know what I mean by that? There. I guess the cards do. You have decided that you know how to win this game. This game called life, this game called career, this game called networking, this game called making money. You have realized something. And we knew, we knew that Jupiter was going to bring this energy in. We've been waiting, some great idea, something that you were working on, something clicks. And Now, between the 10th of March and the 27th, you have Mercury in your sign. So let's look at that Ace of Swords in terms of that Mercury transit. So Mercury in your sign is going to be making some interesting aspects with Uranus, Jupiter, obviously, that you're housing, Neptune, that you've been housing for a while, and that guy Pluto, who likes to show up every now and then and kick the door down. These transits are amazing for you if you have figured it out. You had your aha moment, and now it's just about execution, right? Perfect timing. You're right on schedule, and I wouldn't expect anything less. I always say this. I'm never telling you anything you don't know. If anything, I think we just do a little bit of emotional processing together, but there's nothing new here in the world for you, except when you let yourself really go and you let yourself be surprised. But that takes like a conscious decision on your part. That's not something that just you can do. Unlike some people who have to do all kinds of things and candles and bells and whistles to tap into, whatever you want to call it, heart telepathy. And you guys have to actually do the opposite. You have to turn it off sometimes and just feel what it feels like to be surprised by things and to be in the world like the rest of us are, and not kind of in the world but not of the world. It's mystical and it's wonderful, and I'm sure people love to fetishize it, but it can be a little bit lonely for that reason as well, right? It's isolating. So it's nice to throw that off once in a while and just join the fray, and it's nice that you're able to do so. Now, those of you who are on the younger side may think, what are you talking about? I have no idea how to do that. Yeah, well, speak to some older Pisces. They'll tell you. It's fun, it's easy once you learn how to do it, but it does require a certain amount of abandon. And as much as you guys love telling everybody how free-spirited you are, you're very controlling. So it's just good to put that out there the way it is. Let's not fight about stupid stuff. you're controlling, and that's fine, but it does you a great disservice. Okay? Because that's the thing about needing surprise and needing to feel inspired by the world and needing to feel excited by the world. Like you don't know everything. If everything is a foregone conclusion, that's boring. And yeah, it may feed into your controlling nature and make that part of you feel good, but overall, it sucks for your life. This shit here sucks. Okay? Look at this guy. He's playing himself so bad. He really thinks that that's all there is. He has convinced himself, this man, that this is all there is. Legitimately, if he doesn't keep his feet on the coins, they're going to roll away. If he doesn't hold on to that coin in his lap for dear life, his great big idea, there's your great big idea. If he doesn't hold on to it with everything he has, it's going to fall. And he has to keep his balance. He has to keep perfectly still because he's also, this motherfucker got a coin balanced on his head. So that's you putting yourself into every possible contorted, twisted position. Okay? Just to keep what you got. Control. That's what control looks like. Look at it. Look at it. Now look at the card next door and how it could look. Because what's running through your mind is, yeah, you're lecturing me about control, but the thing is, if I don't have control, these people who really want to see me fall will get what they want. My control is how I ensure my success. Come on, Umber, you're smarter than this. You know this. In a world with no boundaries, if I'm swimming in the ocean and you're telling me not to be a control freak. So if I don't put the lines down somewhere, how am I supposed to survive? These people will eat me alive, you say. Well, the Seven of Wands isn't denying that people want to eat you alive. There they all are. Right there. I'm just trying to show you the dynamic difference between the two approaches here. One approach is, okay, let's take all that stuff you said or that you're thinking for granted and just sit with what we have and be scared. Be paranoid, be scared, don't trust anybody. Right? And maybe just give in to how everybody feels about your season. Be confused, feel drowned. You can do that. Or you can use this time to reach some alignment between what it is that these great ideas that you have, what you really want, and perhaps integrating a little bit of this, spontaneity or carefree kind of living into your life. And if some of you out there are sad right now, like I used to be like that, well, you're still like that. You're still like that. It just because you fall out of alignment with who you are sometimes, Pisces, doesn't mean it goes away. It's still there. You just have to remember it. Often when I lead people in meditation, they have a hard time when we drop to the level of the nerves, right? You drop. First you feel your skin, then you drop down underneath your skin to your capillaries, and then you drop down into, right? And you keep going and you get to the nerves. And when you get to the nerves, a lot of people have trouble feeling the electric pinpricks in their body. They have a very hard time dropping to the level of the nerves. When you tell them about the skin, they can feel the skin. When you drop them down to the level of the capillaries, they can feel the capillaries rushing. But they can't feel the nerves. Something about it scares them. And so what I like to do is often to remind them, this is not a feeling you're creating. You're not looking to put pins and needles in your hands, the soles of your feet, and the palms of your hands. You're not looking to create electricity in your body. That electricity is there. Your nerves are firing. Those electrical little jolts, those pins and needles in your hands and in your feet, you have them all the time. You just don't notice them. You're not creating those little sparks. You're just getting quiet enough to feel them again, to find them, to recognize them. And you're like that spark. There is no reason to cry about this. You're like that spark. You are. That thing in you, it's still there. You don't have to recreate it. You don't have to jumpstart anything. You don't have to make this happen. That person that you remember so fondly who had that creative bravery, that person's right there on, staring at this screen. They didn't go anywhere. You didn't lose them. But what a disservice you're doing to that person by sitting in a room, afraid, in a corner, unwilling to get back out there. The Seven of Wands is telling you, Jupiter is telling you, the aspects that Mercury is making, it's all telling you. Your success, inshallah, is assured. All you have to do is let go a little bit of this thing you hold so tight. And I get it, staring into the face of the abyss, which is where you live. I get it. How do you tell that person to lose control? But it's so very necessary for your life, because you are entering a part of your life where you want commitment. And like I said, you want that commitment from others, but you want it also from yourself. And the thing I think you're going to have to commit to is that you're going to loosen up. Because if you keep this level of control, even if it's very subtle, some of you are very good at it. The person you're controlling doesn't even know it. But you're never going to be able to have the kind of connection you really want. Just because you're smarter than somebody and you could emotionally manipulate them, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to anymore. Something has shifted. Something has changed. You've grown up a little bit. And it's wonderful. But just understand that that commitment that you're seeking, that you naturally is growing inside you. You want this from people. You want this for yourself. It stands in direct opposition to this sort of control, this almost unconscious level of anxiety. I need to know how everything is going to be. And you know yourself that it's not really who you are. You know yourself to be very wild and very free. Yeah, but Umber, that's gotten me in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I know. I know your heart breaks into the most pieces. And I know it's the one that's the hardest to put back together, especially if a Leo or a Gemini broke it. I know. I know how cautious you must be in your emotional life. Most people's hearts, they break. Yours seems to pulverize and turn to dust. No two pieces big enough to glue back together. And it's insane because sometimes you think, if this person only knew what they were doing to me, I'm sure they wouldn't do it. But how could I ever explain to anyone how much this hurts? It literally feels like an organ in my body has been turned to dust. To come back from that, first of all, it takes a long time, okay? But that dust, it does come back together. It does once again form sand, and that sand once again will create glass. And you will get your glass heart back, and you will fill it back up, and you will be happy again. You will. Inshallah, you will. You will. You can't spend the rest of your life controlling everything because you don't want that pulverizing feeling again. Truth of the matter is, Pisces, you can control every fucking thing on the planet, and that's still probably going to happen. Because that's what life does. It kicks you in the face, and you get up, and it kicks you in the face again. It's a test. It's not an amusement park. It's a test. Tests are hard. And you signed up to be a Pisces, which means you signed up for the hardest test. We know that. We all know that. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have some alignment and some peace and some happiness in your life. This Gemini card tells me either you're running very hot or very cold this month, and your astrology confirms it. If you really can't forgive someone, don't let them back into your life. It's like blood in the water right now. Everybody can tell what kind of mood you're in, and they're definitely going to come looking for you. If you really can't forgive that person for what they did, please don't start messing with them again, because it's going to get so ugly. Just leave them alone. Just if you really, I don't care how you feel about them. Notice I didn't say anything about feelings. It doesn't matter how you feel about them, okay? If you cannot forgive them, then you need to forget them. That's it. I don't care how much heat there is or feelings there are, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's that simple. And your astrology is very clear on this. Okay, but what I'm looking at, I'm looking at this. What I'm worried about is that you're going to mess with somebody. You're going to hurt their feelings. Maybe a rebound, maybe as a way to lash out, whatever your motivations are. And the karma that you're going to get from that is going to put you in another situation where you're going to get your heart pulverized. So I'm trying to talk you out of the self-destructive behavior so you can get another chance at really loving someone, if that's what you want. Now, if you're in a relationship and you feel no love, very, very high chances that you'll break up. If you're in a relationship and you really just need a boost, both of you out of nowhere just start thinking of new things to do. You want to take each other here, there. You want to try this, that. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's a very reconnecting, restorative, healthy time. You find yourself more and more agreeing to, small changes and commitments. You feel yourself maturing. You feel this kind of settled bliss of just being wrapped in love and support and feeling the steadiness of that. So that's really nice. For those of you who are with someone, that's really, really, really nice. And like, mashallah, we're happy for you. It's really good. But don't let people, the one thing that I would say for you then, as people who are together with someone, don't let people get in your ear about the relationship, about the other person, even about yourself. Like, sometimes it sounds like people are saying really nice things, but really they're just planting the most awful seeds in your head. And you don't even know until the seeds germinate, and you're very sensitive. And sometimes you say things, most of the time you say things without thinking. And then that combination gets really hurtful and kind of vicious, even without you realizing it. And then all of a sudden you have a partner on your hand who feels brutally wounded by you. And you don't even really know what the fuck happened. Yeah, don't do that. And the way you avoid that is you just avoid people that you know are super mixy, even when they're being nice or even when they're being kind. You can just tell they're always like throwing something extra in there, always like stirring the pot, always with the drama. Like, it's a lot, and you know it. But this is a very sensitive time. If you're in an established relationship, there's a very sensitive time, and you're, reigniting that flame. Not to sound too cliche, but you guys are really putting in the effort. So there are people around you who definitely pretend to be your friends and definitely pretend to want the best for you, and they do want the best for you, as long as they're not doing better than them. And as soon as you two start reconnecting, you and your partner, they're not going to openly, outwardly be unhappy about it, but it's really going to mess with them. And they will try to get in your head. They will try whatever they can to kind of whisper it to you. So you will sabotage things. Because whether you realize it or not, Pisces, it's in everyone's best interest that you be single. Because when you're single, you can focus all that mom energy you got on all of us instead of on one person, because we all know how you get when you get that one person and you drop off, the face of the earth. And I think for their own selfish reasons, there's a lot of people usually around you who don't really have your best interest at heart. They kind of use you like a machine, kind of like your counterpart, the Virgos. And your personality lends itself to that because you're naturally a hard worker. So that's awkward, because if someone sets you a task, you're going to crush it because that's just your nature. But when someone sets you the task of basically, saving them, yeah, that's how you trap a fish. Okay, so if you can't forgive, you got to forget, you got to move on. Don't let people get in your ear. You're just so susceptible to it, especially if they're using flattery. Oh, you're too good for him. You're too good for her. No. Don't do it. Now, if you decide that you want to be the one who's super mixy, I'm looking at this gossip energy right here, then it can really affect you, actually physically affect you. So just stay out of people's business. Please don't gossip. Whatever you do, your karma is like looking to put strikes against you right now. Just keep it clean. Also, in that same vein, if there is someone that you feel you've wronged and that you owe an apology to, drop them an email. You don't have to go through all the like phone calling and the texting and whatever. Just do it. It's 2 sentences. Just get it done. Whether they read it, respond, whatever, that's not the point. This is a flush. This is a karmic flush, and it's great, and it'll flush your system, and it'll flush your heart, and it'll get you motivated and get you out of this kind of anxiety, DEFCON 1, like we need to snap back, right? We need to snap back. So between the 20th and the 24th, you're very accident prone. So just keep that in mind. You don't need to, go out of your way or do anything, but it is really important that you drive slowly, that you watch where you're going, that if you can avoid like long trips on that day, on those days, that would be awesome. And also you're accident prone, emotionally. So between the 20th to the 24th of March, if you want to put, a sign up or something on your calendar or a note on your phone, like shut the fuck up for these 3 days, that might be good. Watch where you're going, stay home, chill. That might be good. Now, one of the themes here that's very obvious in the cards is this need. Very, very urgent need for you to step forward into your life and choose yourself. And I know we've talked about this a lot before, and I know it sounds like a strange thing to say after we've been talking about other people for, 20 minutes. But ultimately, March is that first step in not letting your past hold you back. That's why there's so much processing going on. That's why there's so much temptation to go back to the past. That's why some situations are going to come up where you really have to decide whether you want to forgive or forget. All of this is happening because March is kind of the closing of the door. The past is closing. The door of the past is closing behind you. Whatever you want to kind of try to drag and pull out of there that you think will fit, you got to hurry up and do it. But one of the things that's getting left behind, behind that rapidly closing door, is that Four of Pentacles behavior. And soon you're going to be unable to access that level of controlling, right? You won't be able to stomach it. Not like anyone will keep you from being that controlling. You're evolving, you're changing. And sometimes, don't take this the wrong way, which I know you've taken like 5 things I said already the wrong way. Sometimes you're the last to know. Because you're not thinking before you're speaking, because you're not being analytical. Sometimes you're the last to know what's going on with you. Most of the time, you know everything before I tell you. Future, clairvoyance, this kind of stuff, you got that stuff down. I'm talking about the present. I'm talking about you, what's going on inside of you, irrespective of time and space. You're usually the last person to know about those things about yourself, and that's fine, right? But this is the time. This is the time to step forward. You have to. Your life is demanding that you let go of the past, the gripes, the pain, the upset, the betrayal, the abandonment, all of it. Now, one of the reasons that I stress this is because the high priestess is looking at you like, didn't I tell you that Jupiter is going to expand everything? Didn't I tell you? If you let your past haunt you right now as this toxic thing, it will expand. That's what I'm saying. Either you forgive the past, work with it if you want to, or you forget it and move on, because Jupiter is just looking to jump on stuff. Don't give it the opportunity. It's so obnoxious when you give it the opportunity just to run through your life crazy. Jupiter will run through your life crazy if you keep putting offerings in front of it. Here, expand this. Here, expand this. Here, expand my self-loathing from my ex who hated me has now showed up again because he thinks I'm hot. You know Jupiter's going to expand that. That'll turn into the most toxic shit ever. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. Especially if that person did something that you really can't forgive. That, like, for real is just unforgivable. Don't. They have not changed. But I was watching to see if they've changed. They haven't. They haven't. That's the big takeaway for you. They haven't changed at all. Not one bit. Not a single bit. Not even a little bit. Not even that little bit that you're thinking. Not even that little bit that you're thinking you might tolerate. Nope. None of it. Now, if you don't forgive the person from your past, again, doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, whomever this is that comes back around, whether you apologize or not, whatever, if you take yourself back to the mentality of how you used to feel when you were with that person, and you take yourself back to that place where you felt like you were being treated like nothing, Jupiter's going to expand that feeling. This is not the time to walk down memory lane. This is one of my favorite things about psycho-cybernetics. We do not need to follow those pain pathways back into our past and experience them again. There is nothing to be done with that. It's so toxic and self-indulgent. Let's move forward. Who cares about all those years ago or that time where you were treated like this and you felt like this? Why do we want to feel it again? Why do you want to reactivate that particular pain pathway? Why do you want to follow that emotion back in time and stick some more hooks in there? And just really anchor yourself to that one moment in time and space long ago. Why? Because right now, it's not just you hooking yourself into a moment and being stubborn and refusing to move. Now it's you got your good buddy Jupiter with you wherever you go, and whatever you hook into, Jupiter's like, bet, that's what we're making bigger? Okay, here we go. So you have to change your ways, because you do you do hold grudges. You are stubborn. You can be vindictive. You can be controlling. But you got to change your ways, because every one of those things right now, when you're focusing with that energy on anything, Jupiter's right there standing next to you like, okay, boss. And is going to expand that shit. You don't want to do that. Well, how do I fix it? That number. Stay in the present. Stay in the present moment. What I tell you, you're usually the last to know because you're not there. You're 10 steps into the future, 10 steps into your chess game with whomever you're, at the moment pulling into your game. Like, no, be in the moment, your own moment. Build your self-awareness. Deal with just being you in your moment and just being that. And see how much room you then give Jupiter to do some really fly shit. Like, yes, give me an empty construct and fill it with your hopes and dreams and let me expand all of it. That's your goal. That's you for the rest of the year, with some few, exceptions here and there. That's you. And it's incredible. But, you are going to be tested. Yeah. Are you worthy of this Jupiterian expansion? Because if you're not, your flaws are going to get to you and they're going to make you expand things. So you'll see, look how perfect the design is. So you'll see where you're tripping up. But this is too harsh of a lesson to learn like this. Nobody needs to learn things like this. You know what I'm saying? We learn from other people's mistakes. So Jupiter doesn't have to kick our ass. Okay? Good? Good. Love you. I'll see you in the extended right now.